the Oklahoma National Committee woman to the Republican National Committee, Miss Caroline McClarty.
Gosh, I'm a miss now. That's really something. Are y'all having a good time? Yes, all right. I think this is great fun. Well, this is a little promo for you, a promo for a breakout session that we're doing on traditional marriage, defending traditional marriage. And that'll be at 4:30 in room 17. So I hope you'll join us for that. My guest for this session is Jim Bopp, Jr. He's my favorite lawyer. He's a constitutional attorney from Terre Haute, Indiana. He's the former Republican National Committee man for Indiana, and he was the vice chairman of the RNC. He is a founder of the Conservative Steering Committee of the RNC, and we'll tell you more about that later. And he still serves as a special counsel for the RNC. So if you're a conservative, Jim is known as a conservative titan. He's a super lawyer. He's one of the 100 most influential lawyers in America in 2013, and the Republican National Lawyers Association Lawyer of the Year in 2009. He was the lead lawyer on the Citizens United campaign finance reform case. So, if you're on the left, he is known as public enemy #1 for fair elections and the constitutional terror of Terre Haute. So please welcome Jim Bopp. Welcome, Jim.
Oh, that was funny, Carolyn. Thank you. You know, you're known by your friends and you're known by your enemies, and I'm proud of both.
Yes, thank you. Well, there's a case about marriage before the Supreme Court, and that's what our major concern is right now. The court heard the arguments on April 28th, and the justices are now considering the issue and will decide the case in June. Jim has written an amicus brief for the court in defense of traditional marriage. The brief, which is actually 41 pages long, is very educational, and we hope it will influence the judges to uphold the definition of marriage as the union of one man and one woman. Our argument is traditional marriage supports traditional families, which are the foundation of a free society. So, Jim, what's this case about?
The case involves, and by the way, the brief here, you have to understand, no self-respecting lawyer would ever say something in a sentence that could be said in a paragraph. Well, this case is a challenge by gay activists to the millennial-old definition of marriage as between one man and one woman. In every society in the history of the world, marriage has only been recognized between a man and a woman. Same with all major religions, and nearly every religion, maybe Satanism is an exception. But it's a challenge to that based on equal protection of the laws. And equal protection of the laws says that you cannot treat people that are similarly situated differently. In other words, people that are similarly situated get the same protection of the law. And so they're saying that not recognizing gay marriage violates that equal protection principle. Now, what we say is, first, there is a difference between gay couples getting married and a man and a woman getting married, so that they are not similarly situated. And secondly, that there is a very important governmental interest, particularly for us, for Republicans, for conservatives. We believe in a free society. We want the Republican Party was founded as a party of limited government, equality, and individual freedom. And the way to construct a free society is by having a traditional family based upon traditional marriage. That unit, as the foundation of society, really requires very little government to make it successful, and the alternative spawns massive government programs, as we have seen in our recent history.
Okay, so why did you do this brief?
Well, if truth be known, Carolyn, you emailed me and said, why aren't we doing something here? And I had filed briefs in several marriage cases, and I think you were very interested and partially stimulated, I think, by a brief that purported to say what the Republican position on marriage was, which is we're for gay marriage. And of course, I was very eager to get your email, and we went forward, put together first support for the brief with the Conservative Steering Committee at the Republican National Committee. That is an independent organization made up of over 100 of the 168 members of the RNC, and they work together at every meeting to advance the conservative cause at the Republican National Committee. And so they got behind this with a vote to file the brief. Mm-hmm. And then we listed some leaders of the platform committee in the 2012 convention, because as we looked into this, what we came to see is that there was a very rich history of Republican Party support for marriage and the family that literally goes back to our very first platform in 1856. So we have a story to tell that the court, we think, will benefit from hearing. So we got Congressman Marsha Blackburn, who was one of the co-chairmen, and as fate would have it, there were two subcommittees that had jurisdiction in 2012 over the marriage issue. Co-chairman of one of them is Carolyn, yes, and the co-chairman of the other one is me. So I get to be, right, for the first time ever, not just a lawyer practicing in the court, but a friend of the court. So it's kind of fun.
Great. So are the liberals really saying that we're just against gay marriage because we're bigots?
Yeah, they are, Carolyn. They say that there is no rational reason why marriage between same-sex couples should not be recognized. That is tantamount to saying that you're a bigot and just simply seeking to discriminate against a portion of the population estimated to be about 1.5% of the people in the United States. And that you're just hostile to them, and as a result, you don't want them to get married. The fact actually is, and our brief demonstrates, that the Republican Party has been supporting traditional marriage since 1856, when we said, quote, slavery and polygamy are the, quote, twin pillars of barbarism. End of quote. Strong words, right?
Right.
Well, as the party of equality, individual freedom, and limited government, we're of course against slavery, and we are also equally against polygamy, because polygamy was viewed, I think, properly as an attack upon the traditional family and marriage.
Thank you. This brief is packed with facts and research, and it's quite fascinating. You all can read it yourselves at republicancsc.com. Just jot that down. On that site, there's a petition for you to sign to support the brief. And we've actually tried to advertise it on Facebook, but they have denied us access. So go to our site and sign the brief, and if you can and want to, well, you can give a donation. Price tag was 35 grand, and I'm afraid I'm going to have to wash windows at the Bopp law firm if we don't get this paid for. But come to our little program at 4:30, and you can learn a lot more about it, and we appreciate it very much. Thank you.